Start recording. Yay! Oh my gosh. Okay, so Julia and Kiana and I were supposed to do this tonight. Unfortunately, Kiana had something personal come up, and so she wasn't able to be on here. But I'm really hoping that we can get her on one soon because she is a mass DT enroller, like crazy, and has tons of fire tips. So I might even have her possibly go live in the team page sometime this week to just share some of the stuff that she wanted to share tonight. She had like 3 pages worth of notes ready to go for this. So I want to give her the opportunity to still share. So you might hear from her sometime this week. But we still have Julia. Thank you so much for being available tonight. And you guys, Jay has some fire tips to drop as well. So I'm really excited. I hope you guys have notes. Like I said, this is being recorded, so you will be able to share it with your teams, watch it on replay, all the things. But I would absolutely love if, number one, if you cannot have your camera on, I totally understand, but having your camera on if you can, because I will love to see your faces on here. That's why I keep it in this gallery view and not on a speaker view, because when I'm speaking and while other people are speaking, I like to be looking at you guys. I just love seeing your faces. Please also give us this hour of full attention. We are giving you guys the respect and showing up for you to pour into you. So please give us the respect of giving you or giving us your full attention and all of that kind of thing. But having all of that aside, Julia, will you please just share a little bit, a lot of it, whatever, about your story? And just for those who don't know who you are, don't really know how you got in the business or why or what this has done for you, they can get to know you a little bit better.
Sure thing. Can you hear me? Okay, yeah. I'm Julia. I started this business in like last October. I don't know, like a year and a half ago or so. But if you don't know me, I'm Julia, I'm Ruby, whatever. Okay, so I didn't prep this part at all. Thanks, Alexa. So let's see. Just like a little bit about my story, I guess I'll try not to go like super into detail, but I grew up, my parents were divorced. So that was always like kind of rough. It's hard to like go back and forth. And I knew that that's just like not something that like is ideal, obviously. And my mom was remarried and had 3 younger kids with him. So being the oldest out of them, I was naturally kind of not forced, but my mom and my dad didn't have like a great relationship. So I kind of was my mom's right-hand man and took care of the kids with her and like pretty much raised my baby sister because I was 8 when she was born and she was kind of like my own little nugget. And I was really young, so I was changing diapers when I was like 4 years old, which is like not really that cool. But it just came naturally to me, and I care for my family, and family is everything, and essentially a huge part of why I choose to do this. So when you're growing up, we lived in a house that didn't have heat. We had a like wood stove, so we'd burn wood, and that's how we heated our house. We didn't have wood, then we didn't have heat, and it sucked. Luckily, my room is upstairs and heat rises, but that's a different story. So it was just kind of rough. My stepdad always worked nights. He was always grumpy and like not really around that much. And my mom was kind of a stay-at-home mom, and then would get a job here and there, but like most of the time was home with my mom or at school or with my dad or whatever. And we lived in this really crappy house that had no heat, didn't have insulation, there's holes in the floor, crazy things. And fast forward, my stepdad and my mom get divorced, and then I was with my mom full time. I like dropped out of school in middle school to help raise my baby sister because that's just like where my heart is, and that's what I wanted to do. Definitely encouraged by my mom, which I hope nobody's parents ever encouraged you to drop out of school, but my mom wasn't very big on school. She didn't really care that much. She didn't push me that hard, like didn't give me any ambition to be successful. She kind of like, I felt like never wanted me to surpass her. So fast forward like freshman year, a lot of things happened with my mom. I moved in with my dad for the first time full time, and it was really hard for me at first. I was kind of evil to my dad. Like any teenage girl would be, and for the first time living with him full time, I just didn't even know how to act. I was taken from my siblings, and like it just wasn't it was just a lot to handle. So that happened, and then a lot of things during high school, whatever. Lived with my dad until I graduated, was kind of living with an ex-boyfriend right out of high school, and then just kind of not going down like a super awesome path. I don't need to go into details of that either, but just not being like kind of just giving up shifts at work to just party instead of like go to work like I should do, you know, and just like still getting money from my dad and just being kind of not that awesome. So I had been doing like absolutely nothing successful for myself the first year out of high school, and the opportunity came for me to move to Maui. I was originally just going to save money and come visit, and then it dawned on me, I was like, you know what, I could probably just save the same amount of money to move there than if I just go visit, you know. And I had never set like such like a big goal for myself, even to just like go visit a place like this, because I had never been. So I finally made this like huge goal for myself of going to visit, and then it turned into moving here and move here. I'm 19, pretty fresh 19, and I absolutely love it. I kind of gave myself like 3 months, you know, in my head. I was like, if I hate it, I'll just go back and live with my mom again. Like that's always an option, you know, but deep down, like ended up falling in love, obviously obsessed with it here. It's obviously super expensive. It's not easy to find a place to live. Food is expensive. A gallon of milk is like $7 at least. I don't buy it because that's expensive. Hello. Bag of bagels is literally like $7 also. And I'm just like, what the heck? Anyways, it's not cheap to live here. And I've had a good handful of jobs since I moved here. I've been here almost 5 years, which is crazy. I moved here in June of 2015. And first job I walked into, it was working for a surf shop. If you know like Roxy or Rip Curl, I worked at Rip Curl. It's something similar to like Roxy or Volcom or something. And I started as a sales associate, and I just kind of worked up my way, key holder, and then I was supervisor or whatever, moved up assistant manager, and then I opened my own store and became a store manager, went back to the old store, back to the new store, was just kind of thrown all around, taken advantage of, I felt like, and really overworked, especially once I went on salary as a manager. And I just was getting just over it, you know, like I lost all my passion for any of it. I was tired of babysitting all these little ass kids that didn't want to work, and like, this isn't really what I want to be stuck doing forever. The next like step would be like area manager if that was something I wanted, and that's not what I wanted, unless I wanted to move back to the mainland and work at the corporate head office in Costa Mesa, California. And I was like, I also don't want to leave this island. So what the heck am I doing? This isn't going to get me where I need to be or where I want to be. So I just kept trucking it out and didn't really know what I was going to do. Didn't really have any direction. I was saving money, and I was renting a room, just kind of saving a bunch of money. And I wasn't financially struggling. I just was kind of like mentally struggling. I didn't know like where my passion was. Like I thought my passion was like retail and like fashion and clothes, and like obviously I still love all those things, but that's not my like calling per se. That's not going to get me where I'm going to be happy, you know? So finally I've been watching Lex on Facebook and Instagram for like 5 months, and like honestly was so annoyed. I was like, this is so obnoxious. I couldn't stand it. I was like, I should just like find her, whatever. Didn't, obviously. And Alexa and I were really good friends in high school, and then we like kind of became not friends, and this business brought us back together, which is super, super awesome. Super grateful for that. But there was a $20 kit going on. I'm like, all right, it's 20 freaking bucks. I hit her up. I was like, okay, what is this? And I'm asking her, she's like, I'll FaceTime you after dinner, or like after she goes out to bed or something like that. Actually, yeah. Oh, I think Oak was born already by the time I jumped on board. Whatever. So she FaceTimes me. She's just like drinking a beer, and I'm like asking her all these questions. And she's like, honestly, she's like, you want to do it or not? And I was like, fine. And she's like, okay, I'll help you sign up in the morning. I'm like super tired of going to bed. I was like, all right, love you, bye. And I was like, wow, did we just become best friends again? I think we did. So here we are. And my kind of reason for joining or starting my own business was a little different than a lot of people. Like I wasn't financially struggling. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And I felt like I didn't have anything to lose. So especially joining on a $20 kit. So now it's totally different because I no longer work at Rip Curl. I kind of skipped that part. This business kind of opened my mind to like more options. I had like $10,000 saved, and I decided I was going to quit my job. So and I've been doing this business for almost like a year or whatever. I ended up being able to go to my best friend's graduation. I went for her birthday. I spent like the whole month of May last year on Oahu, and I would not have been able to do that if I was still managing the store. So anyway, kind of quit on a whim. Didn't have a job for 5 months, and it was the best 5 months ever. And then I kind of just jacked around for the whole 5 months. And I never quit working my business. I just didn't work it super, super hard. I don't know if I promoted to Ruby while I don't remember when I promoted to Ruby, but I don't know. I'm not even going to try to think about it. What? Right before I quit Rip Curl? Yeah. Something like that. It doesn't really matter, I guess. But I think I was Ruby when I quit my job. And yeah, so I quit my job, didn't have a job, should have really focused on my business, but just didn't. I just kind of enjoyed like, oh my God, I can wake up and do whatever the heck I want every single day. So then one day I was like, I think I need to get a job. I can't pay my rent this month. If only I would have been working my business hard this whole time, I wouldn't have to get a new job. So had anxiety about getting a new job, got a new job, got another new job. So I have 2 jobs now, and both part-time. Yeah, so right before all this quarantine stuff happened, I had 2 jobs and I was working my business, and I don't want my life to be any different than what it is right now once this is all done. I don't want to go back to working in resorts and seeing people every day that I don't really like to see because they're not that nice to people. So my goal is Emerald this month and Diamond next month, and we're going to get it done. And that's my story. So sorry.
Oh my God, that was so perfect. Okay, there's so many things that I want to point out, but number one, the fact that she didn't join this business necessarily with the financial gain in mind, she just, like she said, had no clue what she wanted to do. And the financial aspect of this was just a bonus for her. The fact that she got to use plant-based products, like you guys think about it, she lives on an island, she's a little bit frou-frou, okay? She's my bestie, so I'm allowed to say that, but she's a little bit hippy-dippy, right? She likes to make sure that products are what they say they are and that it's completely plant-based, all these things, right? She likes to eat clean, she works out, whatever. So I love that you just completely dove in with me, because you did. You joined that next morning and then you kind of hit the ground running. And after you did, and all this Rip Curl stuff happened, and you know, everyone has their fall offs at different times if they have them, but you really have always stayed working. Like even when you take your foot off the gas, it's never like you completely stop working. So I just want to give you praise on that for a second, because I love that about you. And then the other thing that I wanted to point out that you said, that was you recognized when you kind of ran through your savings, right? Because you did. You took your foot off the gas. You loved the travel part and you had a blast, but you recognized in this moment that, okay, I have to make a decision right now, because I didn't work the last 6 months of my business like I should have, to be at a point where I'm making a full-time income with this and don't have to go back to work. So now I have to go back to work. I'm getting 2 part-time jobs. I want you to talk about that for a second. Like when people talk about not being able to do this, like you were working over full-time. You were working doubles and still working this business every single day. And you have had some of the highest volume that I have ever seen your volume at in the last 6 months, because you truly have gotten your butt in gear. So granted, all the quarantine stuff has been crazy, but how did you manage all of that work in this business?
I just set priorities. I made myself a 6 list every day, and I told myself what was important, and I woke up early. Didn't want to, but I did, and I made my coffee every single morning because it's amazing, and if not using the products, then you're number one thing you're doing wrong right there. But I would make my coffee, listen to self-development, journal, jump on a working Zoom, whatever, and I would wake up 2 to 3 hours before I needed to like leave for work, to allow, because I like to take my time. I don't like to be rushed. I like to wake up wake up slow and kind of lollygag or whatever. So I allow myself the time, and I would just bust out as much work as I could. I would plan my posts for the day, and then on my breaks and in between, because I would go work at my first job, which is like the opposite direction from my other job. And I would go there, and I could kind of work and like do self-development while I was there. And then I would typically come home, shower, put on full face makeup, put on a dress, go to my second job, and work until I would go eat there, and then I would go to work. And so in between there, I just didn't have a lot of time to work my business in between times. So I just tried to have those posts planned, and then just working in the nooks and crannies. I would reply to my team at my other job while I knew I could. I would let my team know in the evening, like, hey, I'm at my other job. I won't be able to get back to you. I'll really try if I can, but I really couldn't. I'm a hostess, so I like can't just be on my phone at a 5-star hotel, so or resort. So couldn't do that. So I just time managed and just tried to prep as much as I could, and then would also try to get my messaging out like in the morning or at night. Usually I was so tired by the time I got home that like I would fall asleep like phone on my face style. So I would try to get those done in the morning if I could, or throughout the day. So yeah, time management, setting not a goal, setting like a to-do list for myself and just prepping as much as I could.
Awesome. I love that. Okay. So why don't you talk about your why really quickly? Because I think all of our whys evolve over time. And the reason that you joined this business is very different than why you're working it today. So when you were pushing for Ruby, like what was your why with that financial goal? And what was that going to do for you? What was this business and has this business done for you other than kind of giving you that little cushion, I guess, in between your jobs and everything, and kind of what it's going to do for you now?
So promoting to Ruby meant that I like met my first real goal, which I thought it would just be so nice to be able to double the amount of money I was saving every month when I was working at Rip Curl. Obviously, my whole life is completely different than when I first started, which you never start this business for what might happen. You always join for what you need and what you want right now. And mine has completely changed. Obviously, this business kind of teaches you to dream bigger and have like bigger goals for yourself and want more. But I would say like now my why in this business is to become the best version of myself that I can. For one, obviously I have goals of like a nicer car, buying a house, things like that. But this ties back to the story that I told at the beginning. I don't want to have a broken family one day. I want to have, if I ever do have kids, I kind of all over the place. I don't really know if I want them. I haven't met somebody that makes me want to have their babies yet. So I don't really know where I stand on this, but ideally, like, it would be nice to have that, like, good, nice husband that makes you want to have their babies, have a couple kids, have a nice house that I can support my family in, that has heat or AC, because I live here, and doesn't have holes in the floor. So I know whatever I'm doing now, I don't have a boyfriend or anything either. So this is all hypothetical, but working on it because I'm becoming the best version of myself, and you're never going to find the person that's good for you or best for you until you're the best version of yourself. So I just want to be the best I can be and work towards those financial goals, and things like the house and the car will all follow just with being a better version of you.
Okay, I can honestly say, and again, I'm allowed to say this because she's my bestie, but I never would have thought 4 years ago that those words would ever come out of her mouth. And the amount of growth that we all go through in this business, like, I don't know about you, Jay, and you can totally touch on this if you want to, but like, I personally am so 180 today, the person that I was 2 years ago before I started this business. And the people who knew me before that know me now.
Hey, that's the only reason we're still friends or are friends now, is because of the evolution that this business gives you.
Straight up. And, you know, we correct ourselves on a daily basis. Her and I have had so much more open communication just because of this. And like, I don't know, when you find people who want to dream bigger with you, it's just such a cool feeling. And I will tell you that this business will absolutely make or break friendships. So just know that when your friends come into this business with you, but that is going to truly show you who your real friends are and who are your lifers and who aren't, right? And it's gonna very quickly be apparent. So I just really am thankful for all of you guys, but especially those of my friends we've stayed so close in being both business partners and friends, which is a really hard line to be in between. And I just love watching both myself and my friends who I did know before this business grow together. Like, it's just incredible. The other thing that I wanted to say was, when you were talking about, it's just funny how the universe lines things up. And I just start to notice, and you're laughing at me, shut up. I just start to notice patterns. And it's funny because every time that, for example, you quit your job and decided to go travel and stay on Oahu and all these things. Then you were in between going back to your 2 jobs and now quarantine, and just like all these things keep popping up, and it's every time you're running for a promotion. And it just cracks me up because it is the same thing in my business, and it's the same thing in every other person's business that I watch. Every time shit hits the fan is when you are so damn close to a promotion, it's disgusting. And that is all of us right now. Every single person on this Zoom. So I don't want you for 2 seconds to count your promotion out, because we have 5 whole days left to make this happen. And this happens every time. History repeats itself, y'all. And we are in a history moment right now. Our volume is exactly where it was this time last year when we went double. Which, guess what that means? Not only are we getting back to rank, but in the next 2 months, we are a triple diamond team. Double diamonds popping, multiple diamonds and emeralds popping, rubies and executives out the yang. Like, think about all the things that are going to happen. And I was watching Amber Parker's story, and I actually got really emotional earlier because she was bawling on her story. And it almost brought me to tears, just because she was sharing all of these text messages, because, you know, it's the 25th, so promotions are rolling in. And it just reminded me of you guys and all the promotions that I see rolling in right now, and those of you who are so close. And it's just like, when she was sharing these texts and I wish you guys could see some of my conversations with people that are close with their promotions, or the people who have promoted today. Like, the pure joy and love and excitement that they feel is exactly why I wake up every day excited to do this business. It is because of those text messages that I get from my distributors and from my customers that make it all worth it. And yes, there are difficult people to deal with. And yes, shit is going to happen, and you're going to have obstacles to overcome. But I promise you, around every single corner is a bigger thing coming for you. And you all have it right now. Like, it is literally there ready for you to grab. You just have to do the work. Push these next 4 days, push into next month. And I want you guys to truly find some sort of schedule. Like, she was talking about organization and just being self-disciplined. We all struggle with that on a daily basis. And yes, like I said, some of us have our faults, right? But either you're grinding 110% every single day, except for your whiteout days. Okay, and if you don't know what that is, Jade Hooper has an entire video on it. She picks one day where she literally doesn't work her business. Okay, she works super hard up until that point. What did you say, the first of the month? Is that what you were saying? I thought you said the one.
No, 1 day a month.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah, 1 day a month. She picks, and that's her whiteout day. And every other day, she knows she's working her business, but she gives herself that 1 day of taking it 100% off, phone away. And that's her grind so that she doesn't burn out. Or I can't do that. I burn out way too easily, because my 150% is literally living off of 2 hours of sleep and not seeing my family and not eating and not showering. Okay. That's literally, you tell me to grind, I say how hard. Okay. That's just me. So that doesn't work for me, that style. So what I do is these schedules where I give myself 3 to 5 hours a day, sometimes more, off, where I'm not responding to text messages, where I am having one-on-one time with Oakland. But you bet every single second that is not scheduled with a one-on-one with my daughter or my husband is spent working my business. That's how seriously I take this. And that is why my paycheck reflects that, right? So I want you guys to start setting those boundaries for yourself and those self-discipline rules, so that you know, I'm grinding right now and I'm 100% invested in my business, or my phone's away right now and I'm 100% invested in my family, right? So, okay. Let's dive into our tips and get to the true training. So we are going to be talking about tonight how to convince anyone to join, which is such a hilarious title, but we'll get to that in a second. So if you want to know how to convince anyone out there to join your business, you want to be a mass DT enroller, this is the time to turn your listening ears on. So the very first tip that we have for you is going to be about posting, telling your story, and stories. We talk about this every single day. Y'all know that this is a part of your 6 list. This is not anything new. But why we wanted to retouch on this tonight is because we want to stress the importance. We all know, and drop a 1 in the chat if you know that this is true. This is not a one or another business. Our 6 list is a full circle effect. You have to message, post, grow your network, follow up. Like, it has to be all the things. It can't be posting one day and messaging another, and then maybe I'm going to grow my network. No, it's all the things. And how much of that you do is totally up to you. Okay. But posting is so important, you guys. And I swear to God, this is the reason that I signed so many distributors, because every single day I am talking about what this business has done for me, what it's doing right now, what it's doing for my team, what it's doing for my customers, what I'm excited about, who I'm bringing into this company. Like, I am screaming from the freaking rooftops that, like, this company is the end all be all. And everyone has their own time frame of when they're going to join you. Some people, it takes 1 post and they're ready to go. Some people, it takes 6 months worth of posts and they're ready to go. And 2 messages, right? You messaged them twice or whatever. Then the last person, let's say it takes them 4 years to join you, but they're the person who's going to take you ambassador. Right? So when you take quitting off the table, you really set this longevity for your business, which allows you to give the time to those golden rock stars that you need. And we're going to get into more logistics on this in a minute, but posting is crucial. It's also crucial because when you're messaging people and you're asking them to be product testers, or you're asking them about the opportunity, I would never, and drop something in the chat if you agree with me or don't, but I would never join someone in a company if they didn't have a single post up. If you have not posted in 2 months about your business, there is no way in my Aunt Jemima's name that I am joining your team. How am I going to trust somebody to bring me the success that I want when they're not even talking about what this business is doing for them? That makes me feel scammy. That makes me feel like they're not telling the truth. Because if you are truly making the kind of money that you're talking about making, you would be telling everybody about it, right? Or am I wrong? Because when we don't talk about it is when it looks weird. And this is legitimate money that gets deposited into your account. These are legitimate, incredible, some of them clinically proven products. We pay taxes just like everybody else. So show people the legitimacy. Show people what this is going to do for you. And then your stories should be growing every day as far as your viewers. If they're not, we should talk personally about that, because I can give you little tips and tricks on how to increase your viewers. I might even actually, hang on. I might even go live about that sometime this week on the 2020 push page. So watch out for that. But we can talk about how to increase your views. So anyways, even if people aren't seeing, because not everybody, not just because you have 4,000 friends on Facebook, doesn't mean that 4,000 of your friends are seeing your posts every day because of the algorithm, right? So they say actually roughly 2% of whatever your following is how much people will see your posts. So if I have 4,000 friends on, or 4,000 followers on Instagram, maybe on an incredible day, because I'm interacting hella, I'm going to get 1,000 people who see my post out of those 4,000. And that's just reality. And that's incredible. Okay. I'm talking, that's incredible numbers. 2% of 1,000 would be, what is that? 20 people? Am I retarded? Okay. Hang on. Oof. I am bad at math, y'all. I should not try to do this. I do this too many times on Zooms. What did I say? 2,000? 1,000. 2%. Jesus Christ. 20 people. I was right. See? I'm not that bad. Okay, 20 people. So, 20 people. If you have 1,000 followers or 1,000 friends, only 20 freaking people are seeing your posts every day. So imagine if you're not messaging. Imagine if you're not getting haps up. 20 people a day? There's no way in hell those 20 people are becoming your new potential customers. If I send 100 haps, I expect 35 of those to get posted, and I expect to get 10 new potentials, which means I need to double that if I want to get 20. 20 people seeing your post, girl, I want 20 new potentials. Okay, so how do you do that? You post, you message, you do your whole 6 list, but posting is crucial. Julia, why don't you talk about, and we have a whole training on how to tell your story, so we're not going to get too much in that, but let's talk about why it's important to tell your story and what you've seen with your personally enrolled DTs who, because a lot of them have joined you from your posts.
Okay, I came outside because my house is sweaty as hell. So if it's too windy, is it too windy? Can you hear it a lot? Okay, if it gets bad, let me know because it's a little windy. Okay. I forgot.
We're talking about posting and like telling your story.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously, one of the number one things on your 6 list should be posting at least once. I try to post like not every single day on Instagram necessarily because I try to post more like different types of photos versus like, and like better quality. That's what I'm trying to say. Better quality photos. So if I don't have like a super good quality photo to post or like a really good post to post with it, I try to just save the other ones for Facebook. But I try to do 2 to 3 times on Facebook and then once on my feed on Instagram and then continually throughout the day on my stories. And I try not to just spam it with just slides because personally, if I like accidentally watch one of you guys' stories and I'm like, I just tap through it. I'm like, I don't want to read all this. And maybe it's just because I know it and like, I know what it is, but I want to see your life. I want to see like what you're doing. I want to see how this business is worked into your life. Like if I just see that you're posting about this all day long, that's not exciting to me. I want to know how it works into your day because that's what you're talking about all the time. I want to know what you're doing other than just working because if all you do is work, I don't want that, you know? So just being authentic and being you and sharing your life with people and being vulnerable. And obviously you don't have to be vulnerable in every single aspect of your life. Like you don't have to spill your dirty laundry all the time, but whatever have you. And just staying true to who you are and just being authentic. And if it feels forced, then you're probably doing it wrong. You want to just be authentic. There's also like a system that we've talked about before for posting and hitting every color personality. I don't really go off that. I kind of just go off of how I feel because I am going to work best with people that are attracted to what I put out anyway and my vibe. So I'd rather attract people that are not more like me, but Jade has this really good video even referring to her, but it's just talking about she always wants to find the Jades of the world. So I always say I want to find the Julias of the world. So I always just be myself and be authentic and post consistently. And I really, really focus on my stories a lot too, though, because people don't really scroll like they used to on Instagram. They go through their stories. That's what, like when I go on, I don't really scroll unless I'm interacting. I'll go and just like watch my friends' stories, you know? And the more you're posting on your stories, the like higher up on the little, you're gonna be the first bubble every time. So you're gonna get clicked and you're gonna get more views. And then naturally when you do post on your feed, you're gonna get more views on or more likes or whatever. And not that it's all about the likes, because people might read your post and not even like it. People are always watching. I also tend to work Instagram a little harder, so I'm kind of a little bit more Instagram heavy because I like the aestheticness of it, and I kind of liked it before I even started this, which is I already post on Instagram all the time and I love it, so I may as well get paid to do it, right? But definitely take advantage of both platforms. I feel like I'm rambling, so.
No, you're good. The wind is kind of loud, not to be totally kill your vibe, but it is pretty loud. Okay, so I wanted to touch on really quickly one of the things that she was talking about, and I have kind of keyed this for my memory as like the 3 F's when you're posting. So friends, fun, and funds, right? So people love to know the friendships and the kinds of connections. People love to have supportive people around them and people who are bringing them up, not bringing them down. So showing the community that we have here, because it really is super special, you guys. I've been a part of other network marketing companies. If you didn't know that, I've been a part of 2 different companies, and one of them was literally for like a day, so I don't really count it. And the other was, I was in it for probably 4 months, 5 months, and I loved the products, but the return just wasn't there and people weren't interested. Like, it was just a thing. But I love the community that we have here because I've never seen it anywhere else. And yes, people are becoming more savvy with, you know, other companies even doing Zooms and this kind of stuff to get people together. But I truly feel like this team is a family, and that any one of us could go to any person on this team if we needed something. And I know for sure that I can't say that about other teams, even in this company. Okay, so I'm just so blessed to have all of you guys here. And that 3 F's really is a good thing. Like, if you're having a hard time of like thinking of something to post, think of one of those 3 things, and it'll spark something. The other thing, fun. So like when I'm traveling, and especially like for conference and green carpet, people love to travel. People want to travel. People wish they could travel. And the fact that I get to go on this trip and it's a business write-off is huge. And the fact that 60+% of people promote to diamond and above after going to conference is huge. So I'm talking about all the fun that we're having, the fact that I get to have a few drinks, for lack of better words, with my friends in a house and have fun and still make money is amazing. So talking about the fun that you have in this, we have team bondings. Obviously we can't do them right now with everything going on, but it's super fun. And funds, okay, the financial aspect of this is obviously just crucial, right? Okay, so let's talk about messaging really quickly. So we talked about posting and how that is really, really important. And I talked about the full circle effect, right? So the next part of this circle is messaging, reaching out to people. And I've shared this story a million times, but I'm gonna share it again because it is what shook me. And I'm just hoping that one person listens to this and is like, holy shit, I didn't really think about it that way. So 2 years ago at conference, we were all sitting there listening to Mark's speech, and he asked all of us to stand up, and then all of us to, or like stand up or sit down. I can't remember how he did it, but he had all of us stand up and then all of us sit down who had been asked to join this company, meaning somebody slid in your DMs or swiped up on your story or whatever it is, somebody asked you to be a part of this company. You didn't just randomly one day go on to itworks.com and join. And every single person in that auditorium sat down. There was not a single person who was not asked. And if you guys don't know, look up the Amalie Arena in Tampa. Shit's huge, okay? I'm talking like as big as Moda Center, if not bigger. Like, it's huge, and we fill it every time. So imagine how many people are in that auditorium, and every single one of them was asked. I personally, drop a 1 in the chat right now. If somebody asked you to join this business, I would not be here today if I was not asked to do this repeatedly. I was asked, I can't tell you how many times by how many different people, and I wasn't willing to listen because I had a bad taste in my mouth about things like this because of the companies that I had tried before. I really did. I was like, nope, shit doesn't work. I'll never make money with this. I'm going to spend more than I'm ever going to make. There's no way I'm going to be able to be a stay-at-home mom. All the things. And here I am 2 years later, checking stuff off of my dream board like there's no tomorrow. And so is my team. And it's just crazy because if we think about, especially when we first joined this business and we ask people to message, it's like everybody puckers their butthole. And yes, it's scary reaching out to new people, but like, you were reached out to. Everybody always laughs when I say that. You were reached out to. I was reached out to. So why is this scary thing that we've put out there? The worst thing that they're going to tell you is no, buzz off. And if it hurts your feelings, sister, there's a block button. And if it doesn't, then move on and ask the next person, because there are billions and billions of people on this planet. And I guarantee you, every single one of them is worthy enough to at least be asked. And I'm sure that you believe the same thing. There is not a single person on this planet that does not deserve this opportunity. There is not a single person that does not get to feel their best because I was too selfish to send a damn message. That's how I think of it, literally, is me being selfish and self-centered for keeping this opportunity and these things to myself. I have lost 72 pounds. Holla, granted I'm pregnant now, but I lost 72 pounds with these products. I've never felt better. Never. I have literally been able to, income disclosure statement inserted, pay off thousands and thousands of dollars of medical bill debt, you guys. When I had Oakland, it was $8,000 out of pocket. I paid every dollar of that in cash. I'm literally going to start crying. I worked 60 plus hours a week as a property manager, literally hating my life. We lived with friends. Like, we couldn't even live by ourselves because we didn't have enough money. I did not get to have the wedding that I wanted to because we did not have money. We were eating chicken and fucking rice for dinner every night. Like, it was bad. It was bad. Like, we were so broke, it wasn't even funny. And this saved me. Like, literally. I don't know what I would do without this. I not only that, retired my job at 23, finally am somewhat financially stable. We purchased our first home. Like, we would not have I would not be sitting here if it were not for this business. I would have 2 kids living with friends. And not that that's something to be ashamed of, but it is not what I wanted for my family. I wanted more. And all of these people want more. So send the damn message. It's literally one click. Make it a task. Think of it as something you just gotta do. You gotta send 50. Set up text replacement. PT1, 50 times, done. Worry about the responses when you're done sending the 50. And if you get one that does make your butthole pucker, send it to me. Right? Like, I'm here for that. And I know that I'm being so serious about this, but it is true. This business changed my life. These products changed my life. And you guys are dropping in the comments what they've done for you. I'm literally looking at every single one of you. Every single person on the Zoom has lost weight because of our products. Every single person that I'm looking at right now. Every single person who has used our Beauty Works line has better skin. Every single person has been financially impacted on this Zoom from this company. It does not matter how long it takes you, and you are not stopping. So send the message. Julia, do you have anything to add on to messaging?
I don't have anything to add. I just had like the scripts, but I've already posted those in the push page. Do you want me to share what I say?
Yeah, why not? Just for the people who watch us on replay or people who aren't on our team who don't have access to that.
Okay, so this is literally, it's so simple. This is my, for me, I have it in my phone as opportunity script or whatever. I just say, hey, whatever their name is, random question for you. Would you be, or do you know anyone potentially interested in earning an extra income through social media? I'm expanding my phone-based business right now and hoped it was okay to ask you. And I get such a good, I've like changed that briefly so many times just to be like a little bit more me and more authentic, I guess, to me. And I have such a good reply rate to this message, regardless of they're like, no, I'm not interested, or sorry, I don't. You can always turn it into a hack. You can ask more questions to find out why they're not interested. Just get to know them. And then you're building that connection, even though they may have shut you down or whatever. You can always bounce back from it. So I send that message, and then they usually will be like, just pretend they said yes. I just say, I've actually recently been asking if, depending on what they said exactly, if they have heard of network marketing before. And then I kind of will go into that and be like, oh, cool. Well, have you ever heard of It Works Global before me? And they'll usually say no. And I'm just like, what? Really? Well, a little bit more about us then. We're a debt-free billion-dollar health and wellness company. We've been in the Fortune 500, Forbes, and Grammy Suites the last few years. We have over 50 all-natural plant-based products that I've grown to love. Can I share a short video with you? It's a super inspiring story and tells you a little bit more about our company and who we are. And then I just send them right now. I've been sending the Alyssa Bilyeu video because it's short and it gets the job done. I've been kind of looking for a better one, so if you have a better one to send, let me know. And because they usually are always willing to watch the video. And then this is where you have to follow up because they will open it and not reply. You have to follow up with them. I have had it happen to me so many times where I have reached out with this message, they're interested, they open the video and I never follow up, and then I see they joined on a different team, or somebody on the same team, but I didn't follow up, so I can't even be mad. Like, that's my bad. What if they needed this back then when I failed to follow up because I wasn't organized or I didn't write their name down or whatever have you. So that's just super simple script. I have it text replacement in my phone if you have an iPhone. I think you can do it on Android too. I don't really know how, but so easy to do on iPhone and saves you so much time. And you can always go in and like have the basics done, and then whatever they reply, you can just go edit it a little bit to make it not like super cookie cutter.
So good. Okay, so since we're sharing scripts, I will share one that I send out a lot for the opportunity specifically. So one that I send is, hey, happy Saturday, or whatever day it is. I'm looking for a couple of people who want to make an extra income from their phone with my training. I'm on a top 25 income earning team globally with a work from home business, and this opportunity has given me the freedom to quit my job, purchase our first home, and travel the world with my fam. Absolutely no pressure, but I at least wanted to reach out and see if you'd be open to more info. And I get a really good response rate with that too. So they're getting a brief overview already right out the gate of what this business has done for me. And then I'm just giving that out at the end, if you will, of like literally no pressure, but I just wanted to see if you'd be open to more info. The verbiage is so key, you guys. The word open, people don't like to seem closed-minded. So when you say, are you open to more info? The majority of the time, even if they don't want the info, they're going to say yes. And then you at least get their info, right? And then there's something else I was going to share. Oh, you were talking about the video. I send the same Alyssa Bilyeu video, or I did, but I actually recorded my own, which is something that I'm going to suggest every single one of you do, whether you think you have a story yet or not, okay? So I literally will keep it so simple for you guys, and I'll put it on my YouTube, and maybe I'll even do like a training this week of like points to hit when you're going through it. Hang on, let me write that down. Because they're going to see your face. They see that you're a real person. You're going to be talking about what this opportunity has done for you. You're just going to be giving a brief overview of the company. I didn't even talk about how much it costs to join or anything like that. I just talk about, again, I can list off all these points, but making your own is going to be huge. If you don't want to make your own yet, that's totally fine. But just send the Alyssa Bilyeu one, or there's a really good Jade Hooper one if you're talking to a stay-at-home mom, or a good Shay Knox one if you have a college student that you're talking to, and I can send you either of those, or they're just on their YouTube channels if you go looking for them. But it's so funny because sometimes people will come to me like, oh, the video is not working. Like, people aren't liking the video. And I'm like, no, it's not that they're not liking the video. If the person is not willing to spend the 6 minutes to watch the video, because I've literally straight up had people say, yeah, I want the info, but I'm not willing to watch a video. If you're not willing to watch one 6-minute video, there's no way they're hopping on a Zoom training with me next week to grow and learn in this business. So, okay, when you're ready to watch the video, let me know, kind of thing, right? Or like Julia was talking about, if they don't message you back right after that video, literally, if you've seen that they've read it an hour later, reply again. Hey, what did you think of that video? Or the next day, if they even haven't opened it, just slide in their DMs again. Hey, did you get a chance to watch that yet? Be excited. And then, let's see. Julia, do you want to touch on, I think you really wanted to touch on this, the like sticking to the script kind of thing.
not necessarily sticking to the script entirely, but like I think it was never answer questions that haven't been asked. Is that what you're talking about? Or
No, that's a separate one. I think what we just wanted to talk about specifically was like not necessarily sticking to the script, but sticking to the script. Meaning if it doesn't sound right, tweak it or whatever, but you shouldn't be like adding a bunch more to the script that we send you so that it's word vomiting, and you shouldn't really be taking away. I don't know if you want to pour into that.
yeah, it's yeah, it's just self-explanatory. The scripts usually say what it needs to say, and you don't need, less is more, and just sticking to the formula, because there's a reason why we give scripts, because it works, and it just takes them through this process, and it kind of alleviates stress off of you because you always know what's coming and they have no idea. So usually the script is going to work in the way we say it. You want to have control over the situation, over the conversation, and that's why there's a script, so that you can have that control.
Yes, exactly. And Mad said in the comments too, don't reinvent the wheel. But I said it to Bree earlier too, and not to like totally call on you, but we were talking about scripts earlier, and she had asked like, hey, what are you sending right now for PLCs? And I kind of laughed when she asked me the question, because I was like, oh my God, I've been sending the same script for 2 years. And that is because don't fix what ain't broke, right? I'm a mass enroller. Like, I'm not ashamed. I've claimed that title. That's not everybody's goal, and that's not what works for everybody necessarily, but that's something that I pride myself in. And that is because I mass message, okay? I mass post. Like, I am putting content out there on the daily, and I have always stuck to what I was trained with. And that's what I train you guys to do, is anything that I learn. And you have to be willing to give something long enough for it to work. So if someone has sent you a script and you want to try it out, that's great. But give it like a good 3 to 4 weeks of sending that script consistently every single day and following up like you normally would, to see if it's quote unquote truly working for you or not. But having said that, everyone is going to have their own message that they send out. Everyone's going to have their own style. So just find what works for you. And I think that that's just so important, regardless of what we're talking about, whether it's posting, messaging, whatever. Find what works for you. And then Julia touched on it a little bit, but less is more, y'all, when it comes to DTs. Okay, you don't want to start jumping into the compensation plan. You don't want to start talking about fast starts and all these different things, whatever. No, send them the video. If they want more info, send them the rundown. If after that they have questions, of course, answer them. And if you need help, send them to me and I can help you answer them. But I never beat around the bush with people, meaning I don't ever not give them information they need, and I don't ever lie to anybody, but I absolutely do kind of beat around the bush if it's a question that they're not even going to learn until they go Ruby. You know what I'm saying? They just don't need to know it right now. That's why I don't give my newbies the 10-day training all at once, because it's overwhelming and it's too much and they don't get it. And as much as they think they want to understand everything right this second, it's going to confuse them and it's going to overwhelm them, because they're like, oh my God, this is so much. I don't even get it. And I'm not even in it yet. Right? So allow them to just read the info. If they have questions, let me help you answer them. Or if you know how to answer them, great. Get them in the system and then start training them and answer the questions as they go, and just making sure that we take it one step at a time. And then let's see here. Just so that we don't miss anything, do you want to talk about I know you touched on it a little bit, just consistency and why consistency is so huge in posting and follow-up?
So obviously this whole business is based on consistency pretty much. So if you're not consistent with one thing, then the wheel doesn't work. Like the circle that we're talking about doesn't get finished. Everything needs to be done for success to be. So it's just super important to always be posting, because that is the open sign to your business. If you're not posting, then people are just, you're gonna, for one, your algorithm's gonna get screwed up because you haven't been posting, and two, people don't know that you're still doing this. They're like, oh, she doesn't really care that much, you know? Like, people don't want to join somebody that posts every 2 weeks about this. They want to see somebody that's consistent and loyal to it and believes in it. So just not only boosts your posts and your feed and everything, but it also, excuse me, I'm like hungry, so I'm trying to eat chips in between and this is backfiring. It's just, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm sorry.
I'll interject. It honestly, you guys, build so much trust with your potentials. Like when people come to me and join me, they know I'm going to show them how to work this business because they see me working it every day. And they may not see the behind the scenes of me growing my network and sending my messages and getting my haps up and the follow up and all those things, but they see my posts and they see my stories. So that's something without me even in their DMs that they can watch my consistency with. And it shows them, again, my authenticity and my value as a leader. Do you want somebody? I mean, seriously, how answer this question for yourself. Would you rather join somebody who posts once a week, maybe once a month? Or would you rather join somebody who posts every single day about how happy they are to be a part of this company? You know what I'm saying? Like it truly is that simple. I just want to make sure that we're not missing anything here. And then we've touched on it, but y'all, growing your network is so huge, like so huge. You'll hear the term fresh fish jump first. When I add new people to my network and I throw a post up, like that's a really easy thing to kind of start getting your algorithm going before you make a post is send out like your first round of messages, however many that is for you. Send out your first round of messages, do your first round of growing your network, and then go post and then interact for 5 minutes after. You will get so much interaction on your post. It's insane, okay? And what that's gonna do is allow all those new people that just accepted you or have accepted you over the past couple days, they're gonna see your posts. Because when you're new friends with somebody, the algorithm hasn't caught on yet that they do or don't wanna see your posts yet. So they're gonna see your stuff. They're gonna see it popping up. Basically what the algorithm does is every time someone scrolls by something without liking or commenting on it, it tells the algorithm, I don't wanna see this. That may not be consciously what the person is thinking. I'm not telling you that they don't wanna see your posts, but I'm telling you that they're not interacting on it, and that's what it tells the algorithm. So because the new people that you've added haven't had the chance to scroll past your post yet, and chances are they're going to like it when they do see it for the first time, that they're going to be more interested. The same thing too is when you're not growing your network, people are going to get annoyed with seeing the same 10 posts every day, right? Like I would. And yes, that's going to create the, like Julia said, and it was the same thing for me with Rochelle. I got annoyed and blocked her a million times and unblocked her before I joined her because I was so freaking sick of seeing the same post. That doesn't mean it got my attention any less. I was just jealous of what she had and annoyed that she kept shouting about it because I wanted that, right? So don't twist the words, but just know that if you're not growing your network, you're really limiting yourself. Remember when we talked about earlier, only 2% of your people see your posts? Don't you want to make that 2% bigger every day? So it's not 20 people, it's 2,000 people. And then 4,000 people because your network is so huge, right? And it's gonna take time to build, but if you wanna know how to grow your network, my homework for you is to go on YouTube and type in how to grow your network on Instagram. And there's going to be days worth of videos that pop up. People from our company, people from other companies, people not even in network marketing, people who know the logistics of like the actual programs of these softwares that are going to give you advice. Like I can't even tell you how much information is out there if you're just willing to look for it. So I know that this is a longer Zoom, but stay with us, y'all. Okay, let's talk about, unless you have something to add on to growing your network, Jay, why don't you kind of open us up into the I don't have money reply for potential loyal customers and how you turn that into a distributor conversation.
Sorry. So this is honestly something that I always struggle with and sometimes still send Alexa screenshots because I get my butthole all puckered and I like freeze up. But basically you can turn any I'm not interested into something. So when somebody's like, I don't have money, you can always be like, oh, well, then you might be interested in putting up a hat for me because we have a giveaway going. Would you be interested in our $100 giveaway? Whatever. You could turn it into a hat. Or you can be like, well, I also have a way for you to make some extra money. Is that something that would be interesting to you or beneficial to you, or word it however, make it sound genuine, and obviously going along with your conversation. But that's pretty much what I have on that.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, I keep so sweet and to the point, y'all. When somebody says to me, like I'll give the price for the coffee and or whatever it is. I'm gonna use coffee as an example. And let's just say that they say something like either one of two things. And I am so bad about you turning this into haps because I want distributors. So I'm like all about turning this into a DT conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, you don't have money? Like, let's go, baby. So I jump into immediately, either they're going to give me a date of when they get paid next and I'll save my discount for them so that they don't lose their discount or whatever. So I'll even offer that, maybe even first. I'll be like, totally no problem. I know with everything going on, it might be crazy. When's your next payday? And I'll save you a spot with my discount so that you don't lose it. Keep it that simple. If they're like, I don't really know, or they leave you on red and then don't reply, the next thing that you're going to say is, or I do have a way for you, and I word it specifically like this for a reason. I say, or I do have a way for you to make an extra income and get the product for free that we were just talking about. Would you be interested in that by chance? Or however you end it with a question. But are you open to getting more information? The majority of the time people say yes. If they say no, that's when I turn it into a hap. My hap is like my last resort. Not that that's not what you do, but that's typically like my timeline order. And I'll just simply say, if they say no thank you to the opportunity, I'll be like, okay, well, I don't want you to miss out on getting these products. You were obviously very interested. I know you have that goal of losing 30 pounds by your wedding, right? So what if I enter you into my $100 cash giveaway instead? And they're like, sure. I'm like, perfect. Put this up on your story and tag me and I'll immediately enter you. And that's what I say. I don't say like, if you could put this up, or would you be willing to? No, it's like, if you want to be entered into the giveaway. Same thing with posts, you guys. If you make a post on Facebook and you're like, $100 cash, who wants it? And they all start dropping comments, the first thing that I message them is, hey, I saw your comment on my post to get entered into the $100 cash giveaway. All you have to do is put this on your wall and tag me, and I will immediately put your name in. And that's just how they're entered. If they're not willing to do that, say, no worries, let me know if you change your mind. That's how they're entered into the giveaway, period. So don't argue with them about it. Just move on. Okay. So Julia, you touched on this a little bit, but I think that this is so key for you to talk about, just because this was a big fear that you had coming into the business, was losing your authenticity and not being able to post about things that you already post about, etc. So why don't you touch on just staying true to you throughout all of this?
Pretty much my life motto is stay true to yourself. So to lose myself in something like this wasn't really an option. And I've only really found myself through this even more. So there's that. But I never, like, obviously I try not to have like every single photo of me like holding a Truly, even if I drink one every single day. I try to like mix it up a little bit, but I go to the beach and I go to work and I go to the grocery store and I go on hikes. Like, that's what I do. So I let people know that this business is incorporated into my life, just like I told you with my stories, how I focus really hard on my stories, and making sure people can see that I'm not just posting these slides every single day of the products that we have, you know, like I have a life too, and I cook food and I talk about that in my posts. So I just kind of try to keep the variety, like beach photos, hiking photos, sitting on my couch. I try to mix it up a bit, even though I've had a lot of sitting on my couch lately, so that's been a thing. But not sugarcoating it. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't want to post this because no, this is my life. This is me. If you don't want to see my ass cheeks, unfollow. I don't care. Like, this is what I do. This is what I wear. This is how I look. This is who I am. If you don't like it, then you probably shouldn't be on my team anyway. So I just stay true to me, because I don't want to attract somebody based on something I'm not anyway. And I'm not good at not being myself, obviously. Like, I don't want to be anything other than myself, and I'm only becoming better. And if you don't like it, then so be it. But don't be afraid to express yourself. Don't be afraid to post the picture of you with messy hair because I don't look top notch every single day. Like, I don't have time to wave my hair like this every damn day. I don't want to. I go in the water all the time. I'm sweating. Like, I'm dying right now. I have makeup on and I'm sweating and I don't like it. Like, I don't wear this stuff every single day. I'm like, usually, like, I'm in my house. Like, I used to, like, before I would make my coffee stories, I would like put on a shirt that covered my body or a hoodie or something. Like, fuck it. Sorry, shouldn't have said that, but that's not what I'm wearing. Like, this is what I'm wearing. This is what I'm going to be wearing the rest of the day around my house. I'll walk out to my car, go check my mail. If I do that, like, why can't I put that on my story? This is what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a bra. Sorry, not sorry. Unfollow me. Don't care. Be you. People are going to be attracted to that, and just be bold and stay true to yourself.
100%. And I think ultimately it comes down to stop giving a shit about what anybody but you thinks. Not me.
Be calm.
Not your downline, not your sister, not your mom, not your neighbor, not your customer. I don't care who it is. Nobody's opinion of you and what is bringing your family what you want but you. This is your life. This is your future. These are your children we're talking about here. Nobody else's. And people are going to judge you regardless of what you're doing. I got more hate in the last company that I was in this. I can tell you that, okay? I had people all over my ass with the last thing that I was with. And even if it was the same in this company, who cares? Grant Cardone says it best. If you do not have haters and naysayers, you are not playing big enough. So you need to up your game if they're not there. I look for the haters. Yes, I look for the haters. I look for the problems, because every time that I conquer one of those things, I am one step closer to my goal. And I'm excited about that. And it's just a perspective thing. I really wanted to read what Madison put in the chat. She said, people are watching if you quit. They want to know if you can be successful every damn day. And it's so true, because they're literally begging for you to quit, because they want their preconceived notions about the fact that this isn't going to work for them to be the truth. And it's not, right? You see any person who is consistent about taking action and doing the work and the mindset in this business, and they're successful. And anyone can be successful in this business if you do the work and you produce, right? It gives them validation. I love that. I just loved what she put in there. Okay. So true. Stay true to you. And then the other thing that I wanted to suggest to you guys that I recently started doing in probably the last 3 to 4 months, but I haven't really like honed in on this with you guys, but I really think it's necessary, is people who are putting haps up for you are doing us a favor, and thank God. Because yes, they're getting a chance to win $100, but only one person wins right now, right? Even if it's 5 people that win, there are hundreds, sometimes thousands of people who enter these giveaways, right? Why not still give them the opportunity to make money? Why are we only giving them the opportunity for the $100 giveaway? The second that somebody puts up a hat for me, their name gets written down in my journal. And the next day I go through my journal and I message all of those people saying this. I say, hey, thank you so much for putting that post up or that story up for me yesterday. I really appreciate it. You literally just did what I get paid to do every day. Are you by chance looking to make an extra income? And the majority of the time they're like, yes. They already did it for you. They've proven already that they're willing to do the work. They're totally willing to put something on their story. So why not have them as a distributor? And it's so easy to start that conversation. And man, my potential list has doubled since I started doing that. And the amount of distributors that I'm going to see start rolling in, yeah, of course, I'll send it in the Dream Team chat. Let me write myself a note. Yeah, I'll send the script soon. And then, let's see. That's just a really big tip that I have. I don't know if, Julia, you have anything outside of that before we go on to our last little bit here. The last thing that is that, you said no? Okay. The very last thing y'all have been waiting for, dying for, is how to convince anyone to join this business. That's what the Zoom is all about, right? So we've talked about the logistics and how to enroll distributors, how to start that conversation, and what is important for distributors. But something that we don't talk enough about is exactly this line. And I want to name this Zoom this because it is such a bait and click, where anyone would want to know how to convince anyone to join their business, regardless of what company you're in. But here's the harsh reality, and Julia is going to touch on this in a sec, but I hate the word convince. I actually will use the word hate. There are very little things and people on this planet, no, I'm just kidding, that I hate, but the word convince is one of them. I never convince anyone to join this business or try these products or put up a hat for me. That is such a poor way of thinking. If you have to convince somebody to join this business, you are going to have to pull teeth to get them to work. So give them the information, show them how incredible this opportunity is, and get the good seeds in. You don't want just anyone. I'm willing to enroll anyone. I'm not picky and choosy. I'm not the person who says, and put an application in my bio. Not that that's bad that you should do that. I don't want to give anybody else shade by any means, but that's just not how I do it. That doesn't work for me. So I want the good people, but how do you do that? Well, you start changing your mindset on how you're enrolling people. Do you hear the words that Julia and I have been using through this whole Zoom is helping people, coming from a servitude place, showing people what this business has done for you and for them. It's not about, I need one more distributor to be boxed for Ruby. It's, I need to find one more person who needs $500 this month because it's about to change my life, and why not theirs too? It is that simple. So Julia, I know you wanted to touch on this a little bit.
I don't really remember what I was going to say about it, if I'm being completely honest, but moral of the story is that we just do this, our 6 list essentially, which is the circle analogy we've been talking about this whole time. And if you're doing all of those things, that's just the convincing right there. You've already convinced the right people, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, or vice versa. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I want you to really hear what she just said in that last line. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So yes, there's all these tips and tricks that we give about not word vomiting and not saying too little or whatever, there's always this happy medium, but at the end of the day, the person's going to join you if they want to join you because they need the extra money, right? I want to use Jocelyn Yates' card analogy really quickly because I love this when we talk about distributors. So I'm totally going to butcher it, but if you look up, it literally the title of her video is How to Convince Anyone to Join. She talks about having a deck of cards, and these are the next distributors that you're going to enroll, right? Next 52 people. First card you flip over is a 4. They're going to work for a week. Probably won't talk to you after that. They may or may not have set up their eSuite. Next person's a 10. They are someone who goes exec. They're 1 foot in, 1 foot out all the time, may or may not ever promote past that rank, but they sort of half-ass work. They're the person who posts once a month, right? Then you flip over the next card and you get a 5. And this person joins the, I don't know what they call it, silence club, and they don't talk to you since the day that they joined. They'll literally, why are you laughing at me? I literally don't know what it's called. They talk about it all the time and I forget what it's called. But basically they will not talk to you the second that they join. I can't tell you how many distributors, you guys, this is going to happen to you. I promise. I promise it's going to happen to you because it's happened to me a million times. Someone is going to join your team, witness protection program. Thank you. And they're never going to talk to you again. And that's okay. It's their $100 that they wasted. That's not on you. That's not your fault. That's not because you're a bad leader. They're just not ready. And that's not to say that they won't come back. Okay, next card you turn over, it's a king. Oh my God. This person is going to go emerald in their first 30 days and take you diamond with your other legs, right? and they're excited, and maybe they're a lifer, but you need 3 people, right? So we enroll another distributor. You're going to keep going. You keep enrolling distributors, and every single card that you flip over is going to be a different type. It's going to be a rock star, and then 12 duds in between, and then someone who is half in, half out, and then another rock star, and then another rock star, and then 30 duds, and then another person who joins the witness protection program, and then another person who goes diamond and is killing it and then quits, and then another rock star. You know what I'm saying? So don't get frustrated if people aren't working. Don't get frustrated if people join the witness protection program. Go find your next runner. Flip over that next card. If you feel stuck or you have had a hard time enrolling distributors, it's because you're not doing one of the things that we've talked about, or you're just not enrolling enough people. And that is so easily fixed with mindset and with action, right? There's tons of different things that we can do. But yeah, I think that that's kind of that, y'all. I have one last tip and a little homework assignment, unless Jay, you have one last tip to give or anything left to end on.
Yeah, I have one more tip. I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure that I said what I wanted to say, but basically it's just everything we've said. But just be consistent and be you. And there's no wrong way to work this business, but there is a way to work it efficiently and effectively. So as long as you just stay true to yourself and don't force it, then you got it in the bag, sister.
Wow, that was gold. Okay, thank you. Now I have to give mine. No, I'm just
One more tip.
Go for it.
And it's like I don't know what you call it, but keep it simple. That's it.
Yeah. Keep your messaging simple. Keep your posts simple. Just keep all of it. Don't overwhelm. Especially when we talk about all these things that you should be doing. It's like, oh my God, I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to do this. When you watch a Zoom, pick one thing that you want to start implementing this week. And then once you've implemented that for a week, you're going to add on another thing. And then you're going to do that for a week in addition. And then you're going to pick another thing or whatever. But don't make a list of 30 things to start implementing, because that is when you're going to start feeling overwhelmed. Okay, my last tip. Do the work and the people will come. I can tell you that it is that simple. If I have ever felt stuck, it's because I need new blood. If I feel in a shitty mood, it's because I'm not doing enough self-development and my team is feeling it. Do the work and the people will come. So this is my homework for you over the next month or so, however long you do this. I do this every single day. I've done this every single day for the last 2 years. And I honestly think that this is a huge reason of why I've always, always, always been a mass distributor enroller, is literally because of this. So every day when I journal, I end with affirmations. There's a million affirmations that I go through, but these are the specific ones that I want you to write down, okay? The very first one is, I am a mass enroller. You should be writing this every single day. What are you telling yourself? Because when you start writing things down every single day, imagine you telling yourself that for 2 years. You're going to start believing that. And guess what's going to start happening, right? Okay, I am a mass enroller. I attract hardworking people. You can even replace that word with hungry. I attract hungry people, people who want more, whatever that is for you. But find a powerful statement. I attract hardworking people. And then lastly, this is huge too, is dream customers or clients come to me. So I never feel like I'm chasing people every day, because I'm writing this down and I'm reminding myself that the people who I'm messaging, it's for them to start paying attention to me. It's not to sign enrollments, but the people who are messaging me and the people who are even just messaging me back, those are my dream customers. Those are my dream clients, and that's who I need to be focusing on. So that's my homework for you guys. I know that this was kind of long, but I think that, oh my God, this is one of the best Zooms we've ever done. So I'm going to end the recording.